Hey everyone, my name is Nannercat. You could also call me Ron, and this is going to be the first episode of a thing we like to call the Quick Pop Podcast. So, if you guys don't know, I'm a huge fan of wrestling. I watched during the Attitude Era, and then now recently got back into it, and then even beyond the WWE. So, with this podcast, we like to inform, entertain, and probably get into a little bit of smart mark. Oops, I thought I said I wasn't gonna cuss, but oh well. That's gonna be the first and hopefully last one. I'm gonna catch that. But I'm not alone. So with me, go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Kari, but you can just call me Slayer. I have also been watching wrestling since the Attitude Era, and I have also been looking outside the WWE for additional wrestling content.
There we go. So you've been not listening. You've been watching since the Attitude Era. You didn't have a part where you just like stopped?
Actually, I did. I stopped around 2008, 2009, and I actually came back around 2014.
So that was like Ruthless Aggression era, about to be the start of PG for WWE.
Well, I think it was towards the end of the Ruthless Aggression era, and right when the PG era really just started to kick in full swing. That's when I stopped.
Okay, yeah. For me, I think it was after the Monday Night War. WCW did the whole invasion angle, and then I dropped out from there because suddenly wrestling was not cool. But I came back about 2 years ago, and I don't regret it. In fact, I even went further from the WWE, so now I'm watching New Japan Pro Wrestling, I'm watching Ring of Honor, I watch Pro Guerrilla Wrestling, and now, since the What Culture people, they have their own wrestling federation, I've been watching some of that. I think that's pretty cool. Like, they started just making these YouTube videos, and then here they go. They're able to book Kurt Angle and Alberto Del Rio, El Patron, whatever, in a match that's happening, I think, February 11th, February 12th. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that's pretty cool. Pretty rad.
Actually, recently they just announced that they booked Rey Mysterio for a match.
Did they really?
Yes. And one of the past pay-per-views, they actually had Jim Ross and Little JR come in and actually do,
So he did commentary.
Yes. and
That's
so
awesome.
I've been following What Culture for a while. Yeah. And I was right there at the very beginning of WCPW, and I think it's really awesome that there's even another way to where you can go and get involved in pro wrestling.
Yeah, it's a good point, especially with What Culture, because they have these top 5, top 10, like those kinds of videos, and they just go off from there. They riff, they have speculations, they have predictions, they even do like reviews and everything on like the shows like Raw, SmackDown. I think they do some reviews on like Ring of Honor or something like that. But the fact that they went from there and then created their own sort of entertainment and getting like big name people. I mean, Kurt Angle.
I mean, he's about to go into the Hall of Fame this year.
I know. That's so crazy. What if he comes out at the Royal Rumble?
I'm all there for it. I'm hoping he comes out. That would be such an awesome thing. And
I would be chanting, "You suck," so loud, but lovingly. Lovingly.
It's out of respect.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not chanting "You suck" at Kurt Angle, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that is that is a term of endearment. Just chanting, "You suck, dun, dun, you suck." So, other than WWE and What Culture Pro Wrestling, have you checked out New Japan by any chance?
Oh, absolutely, and I think it's a really good product that people should give a chance and to actually watch. And like they have gone and added English speaking commentators because they're trying to branch out and reach into the American audience. I think people should really check it out. It's, of course, Japanese wrestling is a very different style from what most people will be used to, especially, if you're guys like us that grew up in the Attitude Era, and that's a very different style of wrestling compared to what they do over there in Japan. But it's really, really awesome stuff.
I actually spent the 999 yen so I could watch Wrestle Kingdom 11. And then because of that, I started watching all the past Wrestle Kingdoms. I watched the G1 Climax. I watched, The Beginnings in Osaka. Watched New Year's Dash. So I've been trying to take in a whole bunch of New Japan material.
That's cool.
Some impressive stuff. Like, I think two of my favorites have to be Tetsuya Naito?
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, did he lose the Intercontinental? Or did he retain the Intercontinental? Like I think he was wrestling Hiroshi Tanahashi. God, man. I can't believe I forgot. But Tetsuya Naito, I guess he's kind of the leader of the Ingobernables de Japón.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant stables. So they got like 3 huge stables in Japan. Of course, obviously, you got the Bullet Club, which is that heel stable with Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Bad Luck Fale, all of them. And then you have Chaos, which is, I guess, the face stable founded by Shinsuke Nakamura, which, y'all know. So that's headed by Kazuchika Okada, who is the current IWGP heavyweight champion. Very fantastic wrestler, too. Oh, my God. I can't believe he's so young. He is young.
How old is he?
He's like less than 30, I think.
Really?
Yeah. And he's basically the John Cena of New Japan. He is the face that runs the place. But then you have that other stable, it's so hard to pronounce it. Los Ingobernables de Japón. It's fantastic. And they've become a really good heel stable as of recent, with Bushi, Evil, Sonata, Naito, the Time Bomb. It was such a good thing. But yeah, a lot of people should be putting New Japan Pro Wrestling on notice, because I'm pretty aware WWE has taken a huge eye at them.
Yes, I think what New Japan is doing right now, they're trying to position themselves to compete in the international market, especially after that phenomenal match I'm losing my words.
Okada and
Omega. Okada and Omega. Yes, like that match was amazing. And I think a lot of people in the wrestling world are starting to, they always taking New Japan seriously, but they're really, really starting to pay attention to them now.
Well, of course, because they put on, like, really good material. Like, how many times have we sat down, watched Raw, watched SmackDown, watched a pay-per-view, and we're like, this could be better. The writing is shoddy. They had some good matches. Overall, it wasn't, like, amazing. Like, you may have got, like, a really good match out of Seth Rollins or AJ Styles. You don't have good matches all around. Your tag team matches are lacking. Your women's matches, they're a lot better. But the ones that aren't championship material, they're lacking. Some of the singles matches with the mid-carders, they're lacking. It's just the champions are champions. Whereas with New Japan, the champions are champions. The Intercontinental title, champions are champions. Even when it comes to a non-title match, like Cody versus Juice Robinson.
Yeah, all the matches matter.
Yeah. You don't get that with WWE. Of course, I mean, you have the squash match, which is great and all, but when it's not a squash match, and they're just fighting, and there's no, like, real substance to their storyline, you're left wanting more.
And I think that's a problem that's kind of been going. I think that was mainly the reason why I stopped and had my short hiatus from just wrestling content in general, and why I just chose to go away from it. And you see wrestling differently when you're a kid versus when you're an adult, because when you're a kid, you're not thinking about things like storylines, or
you're looking at the sweet stunts.
Yeah, the stunts, and in the case of the Attitude Era, you're looking at the women, and all this different things. But now you don't care about that. You want to see a good story. You want to see a match be executed well.
Yeah,
And
you go into
some,
each episodic content like you're not viewing it as like a stunt show, but you're viewing it as like, say, Game of Thrones or one of those other big name shows that they have on HBO or probably have on CBS, Fox, stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. I think for me, the reason why I got back into wrestling is because there were so many new things that I didn't know about when I last quit during, like, after the Attitude Era. Because they implemented, like, Money in the Bank and stuff like that. Like, Money in the Bank to me is so much fun because it adds suspense. You're like, oh, what's going to happen next? Are they going to cash in? Are they not going to cash in? It's fun to me. And I think when they added more of that sort of flavor to the WWE, that's when I started paying attention again. I think the moment that I went back in was WrestleMania 31. It was Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, and Seth Rollins is the cash-in of the century, just cashing in at WrestleMania and winning the title. That was like the definitive moment when I came back. What moment was there for you?
It was the most heartbreaking thing in the world. But it was when I'm sure that was 2014, but that's when Taker dropped an L in the streak.
Oh, okay. So that was 30.
Yeah, that's WrestleMania 30.
Yeah, I heard about it, but I wasn't like engaged. Like they were saying, Undertaker finally lost at WrestleMania. I was like, oh, I thought he didn't. And then that's when I learned about the streak, and I was like, oh, okay. And then they talked about Daniel Bryan, who was this nobody and became a huge somebody. And actually, he became like one of my favorite wrestlers because obviously got the network, went back, like watched most, if not every pay-per-view from the last like 5-10 years. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to learn a little bit more. And Daniel Bryan, oh my God, dude is amazing. He's retired, but
unfortunately because of injuries, but that type of thing happens in this business.
But we still get him on SmackDown.
Yay!
I'm pretty excited about that.
Man, like I'm glad that we get to see him, but it always feels like a tease when you see him come out or you hear his music hit.
Yeah.
And he's not, he's never going to be able to wrestle again.
Yeah. There's one thing though, like I feel like just deep down that Daniel Bryan's going to get better. He's going to get better, and he's going to have one last match. And I feel like for this entire year, he's been building up something with The Miz, because The Miz, oh my God, heel of the year in WWE. Like, he is someone...
I don't disagree. Oh, I don't disagree at all.
Yeah, like, he cuts the most amazing, like, heel promos, the passion that he has, even the way he wins matches and loses matches, you could tell he's 100% heel through and through. Like, he's more heel than Kevin Owens, he's more heel than AJ Styles, he's more heel than Baron Corbin, and they're teasing Dolph Ziggler as a heel. I don't necessarily understand that, but Miz as a heel, amazing, beautiful. They need to do more with it. I want a world championship run with The Miz.
I think that would be really cool because he's kind of putting himself in a position to be noticed, and I think people would accept it. And it's funny because I knew about The Miz like before he was a wrestler. I actually used to watch reality TV a lot when I was in middle school, and I remember seeing The Miz.
Oh yeah.
I think it was
Real World Back to New York, season 10.
Yes, it was The Real World, and I always thought it was cool. He even back then he would mention how he always wanted to be a professional wrestler.
Yeah,
and then lo and behold, a few years later, he
actually tried and did it.
Yes, and he did it, and now here we are, and we're talking about Mike Mizanin, which I think is really cool.
I remember he was totally misunderstood in Back to New York. Because, like, he was getting in fights with Coral, Malik, Lori, Rachel. But then he did, like, the offshoots. Did you watch, like, Battle of the Sexes or the Inferno, the Challenges? Dude is athletic. Like, you ever checked any of that out?
I actually watched all of those religiously after school, and so like you have no idea how much I was enthralled by reality TV back then. Not so much now, but that was a huge part. And so like I followed Miz for a long time.
Yeah. No, he's fantastic. He's wonderful. Like, I like The Miz. Got to check out his championship run, the thing that he did with Cena. Like, he feuded with Cena. That's pretty good, all by itself. And he wasn't buried, because look at him now.
Right.
But he's, like, he used to rub me the wrong way for, like, all the right reasons. But, well, not... He rubbed me the wrong way for all the wrong reasons, but now he rubs me the right way for all the wrong... Or rubs me the wrong way for all the right reasons. I couldn't get that right. I couldn't get it right. I need to get my stuff together.
Well, I think that's a good thing. And honestly, I feel like there needs to be a difference because you could like you can you can like something that someone does for all the wrong reasons, meaning like they can be a really good heel, or you can hate someone who's face because they're not very good, they're not very convincing at being face. Does that make sense?
That does make perfect sense. I think that's one thing that we're kind of getting lost in translation. Like, you have AJ Styles, people cheer for him. You have Kevin Owens, people cheer for him. You have Chris Jericho, people cheer for him. But The Miz, wow.
People boo him, but they boo him for all the right reasons.
It is heat. He is a heat magnet right now. And he just needs to keep it up. He's doing wonderful. Keep doing you, Miz.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think we have enough. I don't think we have really true heels anymore. I think there used to be an art to being a really good heel. Example, and I think this is one of the best examples. Oh, it's Triple H, and I absolutely hated Triple H. I hated this man's guts. I hate the earth he walked on, and I thought he was just a terrible guy. Go to find out, he was just a good heel, and that was his job. That's what he's supposed to do.
He made me feel bad. Like, whenever he was talking to everyone, he made everyone feel terrible. He's like, I own you. The things you do are because of me. The things you like are because of me. Because I am the game. He was a good heel. Very good heel. Same with The Rock. Whenever, what was it called? Like, Corporate Rock. Where he did the corporate elbow, and he was the corporate champion. That was a good heel run for The Rock. Same with WrestleMania 13, the double turn between Bret Hart going from face to heel and Steve Austin going from heel to face. You don't get many of those. And that's what I'm kind of hoping with WrestleMania 32, hopefully, that we see a double turn, at least with Roman Reigns. They need to realize, give the audience a chance to boo. Give them a chance. Give them a reason to boo. Because they're going to boo him no matter what. They don't like him. They might like him ironically. Or they might really like the guy. I don't know. But the thing is that he's getting the heat. But he's doing it as a face. That's when things start to get blurry. And that's when storytelling gets a little bit awkward. Because when's the last time you watched something where a good guy was the one that you didn't like?
Outside of wrestling, I can't remember.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen because that's not good. That's not good character. That's not good storyline stuff. Make Roman a heel. That's all I'm asking. Or do a really good double turn. You have Seth and Roman in a match, but I don't want that at WrestleMania. I'm saving Seth for trips.
Oh, that's a long time coming now. After that match on Raw.
Oh yeah.
For the Universal title. That's a long time coming.
Well, did you catch what happened on the recent Raw?
I actually didn't get to watch Raw or SmackDown this week.
Okay, so I need to fill you in on one thing. So on Raw, Sami Zayn wanted to find out how to get into the Royal Rumble. So he asked Mick Foley. Stephanie McMahon intervenes and she says, you need to earn your chance into the Royal Rumble. And she put Sami Zayn against Seth Rollins. And if Seth Rollins loses, he loses his spot in the Rumble to Sami Zayn. They put on one heck of a match. Basically a main event match, in the middle of the show. And Seth was about to win when all of a sudden you hear Trips' music pop. Everyone got psyched. Everyone got so pumped. Seth is looking around like the stadium, looking around the arena, trying to find out where is he coming from. He didn't come out. Sammy rolled him up. 1, 2, 3. Sammy's in the Royal Rumble. Roman Reigns. Seth Rollins is not. So now that adds more fuel to the fire with the whole Seth Trips rivalry.
I think when that blows over, it's going to be completely worth it. They've been building it up for, man, it seems like what, 4 or 5 months now.
We haven't seen Trips in a while. Like the only appearance that he's had since last WrestleMania was when he gave Kevin Owens the title, and then he left. This was a little teaser on Monday Night Raw. That was it. So he's going to make his appearance at Royal Rumble, I feel. Either that or Fastlane, because Fastlane is a Raw pay-per-view. They put Elimination Chamber as the SmackDown pay-per-view. I'm excited. We're probably going to see the best in wrestling this year, just because of the threat of New Japan.
Absolutely. And I noticed you didn't mention something. You didn't mention TNA, and you know there are some good things going on in TNA.
Very confused about TNA.
There are also some things that are not okay and not good. But
there is one thing that I think both you and I could definitely agree with.
Broken Matt Hardy.
Broken Matt Hardy.
Absolutely.
The best thing in wrestling, story-wise, right now, is Broken Matt Hardy. Brilliant.
Oh, man.
The broken brilliance. Like, he got a boat, a drone, his baby kid, and his gardener. He got them all over. You can't do that unless you're Dean Ambrose and Mitch the Plant. But I digress. He got a dilapidated boat, Sarsgaard, a drone, Vanguard 1, his son, King Maxwell. Senor Benjamin, his gardener. He got them all over. Best storyline in all of wrestling, in all divisions of wrestling. TNA, Ring of Honor, WWE, New Japan, Broken Matt Hardy, and his broken brilliance. Best thing.
I can't begin to describe, how it made me feel when I found out about Broken Matt. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things, because at first when you first see it, obviously, your first reaction would be to laugh. It's like, oh, this is just silly. But when you sit down and just watch the body of work that he's putting together, and you start to realize what he's doing, it's actually extremely intelligent. It's really clever, and we don't have enough of that in wrestling anymore.
And it's not only that. That whole storyline, the continuity of that storyline alone speaks volumes. There's so much attention to detail with the Broken Matt Hardy storyline. It's wonderful. Because, with most storylines, you have a couple holes here and there. I feel like there aren't any holes with the Broken Matt Hardy story. And the thing is that he's involved so many other people, like even Brother Nero, Jeff Hardy, involved him. There's no holes. It's all, it's entertainment. That's the magic of it.
That's because he's really dedicated to kayfabe when it comes to this character.
So, did you also listen to the Talk is Jericho podcast? Oh, shout out to the Talk is Jericho podcast. No, it's a good podcast. But no, he had a podcast with the character Broken Matt Hardy. Brilliant.
I I was laughing the whole time. It was awesome. You don't see enough people uphold kayfabe like that anymore.
No, we live in an age where kayfabe is dead. We all know that wrestling is scripted. It's predetermined.
Now, before we keep going, just in case there are some people here listening, and they may have not, may not know some of the terms that we're talking about. Do you want to explain kayfabe to the listeners?
Nah. I think they'll get it.
Understood.
Kayfabe is, basically a character. It's creating a world that's not exactly real, and keeping in character is kayfabe. But we live in a world of social media. We live in a world where you get to run into them, and it's just kayfabe is dead. The only person other than Broken Matt Hardy, that's trying to keep kayfabe alive. The Undertaker. The Undertaker is the most protected character in wrestling history. And he came from a time where barbers were wrestlers, trash guys were wrestlers, tax men were wrestlers.
Giant turkeys.
Yeah. A guy named the Boogeyman, wrestler. But the Undertaker is someone that we all got behind. And that's just pretty much it. But honestly, we got to start wrapping this up. So I think for next podcast, I don't know when we're going to record it. I don't know when it's going to get released, but depending on it, we either talk about our, I guess, what we expect out of the Royal Rumble, or I guess the aftermath of the Royal Rumble.
All right,
that'll be next episode.
Okay,
just kind of this is the first episode. Got to get a little bit of get warmed up.
Yeah,
kind of get into the mood, the gist of things.
Mm-hmm.
So, this was it. This is a Quick Pop Podcast. You got any parting words?
None. Since this is the first time.
And there we go.
Yeah.
None. See you guys later. As Kenny Omega always says, goodbye and good night.